What's up, LA Live gang? This is your boy AC, and welcome back to another edition of LA Sports Live. I was planning on coming on live in a few hours, like around two, like about 2 p.m. Pacific, but we had a lot of breaking news jump off within the last 30 minutes concerning the Lakers. A lot of news, a lot of rumors and trade rumors and all that kind of stuff. So I just decided to jump on now. You guys see the thumbnail. You see the title, the LA Lakers. They announced today. Um, the LA Lakers announced today that THT, Taylor Horton Tucker, had to go into the NBA's health and safety protocols. I repeat, THT is in the league's health and safety protocols, and the Lakers decided to make they just decide to, like don't take any chances. The team is in Dallas, right? They're playing the Mavericks. So the team went ahead and shut down practice and pretty much secluded the team, all the players to the room. So the Lakers will have no practice today, no shoot around. As far as I know, the game is still going to go on as scheduled tomorrow. Yeah, that's right. They play tomorrow. But but they went ahead and canceled practice and all that kind of stuff. They don't want no congregating because like look, we've seen this thing hit other teams, and so the Lakers they got a little scared with LeBron, but really this season the protocols haven't really hit this team too hard. But now we see that THT, he indeed has entered the league's health and safety protocols. That's pretty much all across the internet now, right now, and we got the confirmation from Bleacher Report and also from Shams. So undoubtedly, they're retesting everybody, and just to make sure, because I mean, the team, the guys have been around each other, so undoubtedly, like I said, they're retesting everybody, retesting all of the coaches and staff and everybody, just to make sure we don't have any other cases. And then we'll move on, man. We'll see. We'll see. The Bulls are having a real hard time. The Bulls had up to six, I think 6, 7, or 8 people in the protocols. A couple of them have come back already, but it's hit a lot. It hit a few teams pretty hard, and to the point where the Bulls, they had to reschedule a couple of their games, and they were actually allowed to sign a couple extra players, man, because they were like shit. They were like short on players. The league does have minimums um, about the amount of healthy players you have to have before you can actually have a game, and the Bulls were short a player or two, and so they were actually allowed to sign extra player. And actually, they signed former Laker Alfonso McKinney. So I don't know if he's still with the team or whatever. But that's the latest news, guys. And man, it sucks. What's up, Bad Boys for Life, Brian Cruz. We'll talk about Russell Westbrook if he's still here. We'll talk about him a little bit later. That's just the way it is. That's just the way things go, man. These things gonna happen. There's just really no way around it. So I'm getting notifications right now, but no way around it. So it's just this is how it is. Let's see, we're in the middle of December, so I don't think this will happen at all. But some people are talking about the league should just go on a hiatus for 10 days or so. That ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do that because too many games will get displaced. They got games scheduled all across the country, or whatever. They just ain't gonna do that. I don't think they're gonna do that. So what they'll do is they may postpone a game. There is a flexibility in the schedule, so where they can postpone a few games here and there, not cancel, postpone, and because they want that bread. There is flexibility for them to do that, but I don't think they're going to cancel too many games. But they are having quite a few players. They are having quite a few players going to the protocol. So I know the NBA has a contingency plan, but I don't think that plan includes. You never know. I just don't think it includes, shutting down the season for extended amount of time. Like I said, they may count. I mean, they may reschedule a couple of games, postpone a couple of games here and there, but I don't think they're gonna cancel anything. So anyway, that's the news. Hopefully THT, man. You never know. Best case scenario, it may be just a false positive. You never know. But the odds are, is what it is. So anyhow, shout out to THT. It's kind of been a rough season for THT. Kind of been a rough season, man. He started off, was pretty much penciled in as a starter. Then he tears his thumb up on a shooting hand, so he has to go out. He has to have surgery. He makes it back a little bit early, plays well, been up and down, and now he's back out because of the health and safety protocols. So it is what it is, man. Hopefully we do not have hopefully we don't have a mass outbreak on the team. But but you look and see what happened with the Bulls, you can almost expect that somebody else will come up positive. But we just have to wait and see. But we just keep our fingers close that nobody does. And like I said before, hopefully THT doesn't get real sick, and we're going to wish THT a speedy recovery. So what does that mean for the Lakers? If THT is gone for 10 days or so, of course, we know right off the bat, as one position, the Lakers are deep as guard. So there's going to be more minutes for Austin Reeves, and there's going to be more minutes for Malik Monk and more minutes for Wayne Ellington. So the Lakers, to have a guard go out, it's not as bad to have a big go out. So the Lakers are pretty much well covered in that situation. So you guys saw the second part. I don't know, I changed the title, but the second part of the title, something I want to talk about, is Anthony Davis. Now, Anthony Davis, there's a story that came out earlier today. Said AD was talking about he's tired. He's had to come back and play much more minutes right off the bat, more than what he thought because of all the injuries and because of the Lakers' lack of bigs. The Lakers are just short on bigs, period. And I'm just talking about centers. I mean, forwards and centers. The Lakers are just short. So AD has had to log a lot of minutes, and we all know he's not the best condition Laker. The old man, LeBron James, I think he's one of the better, well-conditioned Lakers, and AD's not one of them. And I think we seen it. I think we see that he's actually pretty tired, especially he just runs out of gas at the end of games. So anyhow, AD basically he went to the coaches and addressed them and let them know that he gets tired at the end. He gets tired. He's been playing more minutes than what he thought. And then Phil Handy is just like, raise your hand and let us know. We'll take you out. Just that simple, right? But anyway, you can see something that there's some conflict with AD, man. Because he hears these things about him being soft or whatever. So then he goes out there and plays all these damn minutes, tries to be Superman, but is too scared or whatever to tell the coaches that he, to raise his hand and say, hey, he needs a blow. And that also goes, that's, man, that's also on Vogel too, man. Because there's one thing I noticed, and I know you guys noticed. I know Vogel has changed up the rotation a little bit, but going back to since Anthony Davis got here, well, they all got here at the same time, AD and Vogel, he will play AD the whole first quarter. So, and at first I remember AD saying, hey, man, I'm 26 years old. I can play, blah, 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 blah. But now he's talking about he's tired. So that's on Vogel, man. He's got to get that straighten that rotation up a little bit. And I just don't see he gets LeBron scheduled rest every game. He gets Russ scheduled rest, sometimes extended scheduled rest for Russ. But he thinks AD is some kind of damn Iron Man and plays AD all these damn minutes. and AD is tired. Y'all, excuse me a minute. I got a money call coming in. All right, guys. Sorry about that, man. That was $500 phone call. I had to take it anyway. So hopefully, AD and the coaching staff they get back on they get on the same page. Let me see who's up in the chat. Octavius Mo, what's up, man? When's Lakers trading Westbrook? You know what, man? I wouldn't I wouldn't mind Ben Simmons coming to the Lakers, man, but I would just say I don't see that happening. But you never know, man. You never know. What I look, I wasn't really going to talk about the trade stuff, but if you want to talk about the trade stuff, let's do it. Usually, what happens, this is what I've seen over the last few years with the Lakers since Palika and going back to 4 years ago when Magic took over or whatever. Um, they usually don't do a whole lot at the trade deadline. You know, they usually don't. They usually do all their big moves in the offseason, all the big trades, the AD trade. Uh, okay, going back to when LeBron came, he came as a free agent. He signed in the offseason. The AD trade happened in the offseason. The Westbrook trade happened in the offseason right after the draft. So the Lakers throughout the regime of Rob Pelinka, he doesn't really, unless there's something big out there, he doesn't really make big moves at the trade deadline. He doesn't usually make big moves during the season. Now, I think what's happening is you're going to hear the Lakers mentioned. It's just the way it is, man. You're going to have them mentioned. You're going to hear them tied to look. You might even hear them saying that they're interested in acquiring Steph Curry or Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. You're going to hear all that stuff. And I think most of it, these trade rumors involving the Lakers, I think for the most part, it is bullshit. If there is a trade that happens during the season, uh, before the deadline or right around the deadline, if there's a trade that actually happens, I think it's going to be a small trade because we did get a report earlier today that I didn't mention it, but we did get a report earlier today that there's some interest in Laker bench players who are on minimum deals, not even involving starters. But there's at least two players that the Lakers have who are on minimum deals that is viewed throughout the league that these players are outperforming their contract, and there's interest in those players. And you want to guess who those two players are? Two bench players that are garnering a lot of interest around the league amongst other GMs, and they say that the players are outperforming their contract. You know who those two players are? Those two players are the undrafted rookie Austin Reeves and minimum contract Malik Monk. The Lakers were lucky, very lucky to get him on a minimum contract, but that's the word on the streets amongst, and there's a lot of interest, um, amongst the league executives that these players are believed to be performing over their contract, and so you see, there's a lot of things, man. And see, well, let me just finish this. If there's anything that's going to happen by the trade deadline, it's not going to be anything that anybody's talking about because that's just the way it goes. It's not going to be anything that you've been hearing on the news. But see, right there, it's widely believed that the Lakers don't have a lot of trade assets. That's what a lot of people saying. But when you hear that they have two players that don't even start, and it's believed among in the league that these guys are outperforming their contract, Austin Reeves and Malik Monk. Okay, those are two pieces right there that people that have worth and that people are saying they might be interested in. And those are players that they can add to packages, and or those are players that they can move to other teams for draft picks and stuff like that, and then throw together a whole nother package and maybe make a splash. Maybe. So that's my whole point. My whole point is all this stuff, Ben Simmons, Damian Lillard, I don't think none of that kind of stuff is gonna happen, man. I'd be very surprised. I would admit I will welcome it, but I'd be very surprised if something like that happened. I just don't think stuff like that is in the cards. What I think is more likely is little stuff. Jeremy Grant, that stuff. The players in Indiana, Miles Turner, and all that kind of stuff. That's a long shot because the bottom line is, teams are going to make moves that are beneficial to them. And I just don't see that happening. Maybe, I don't know. But to see if the Lakers were to turn around and get and trade for, let's say, Detroit, they've been tied to Jeremy Grant. But see, if they were to do that, they would have to worry about signing him a year from now because he's going to be a free agent. So, man, I don't know. I just don't think all these big names that you've been hearing. I think it's mostly what they call clickbait. People are just trying to move stories, trying to push their stories, and they always going to attach to the Lakers and stuff because we all know the Lakers are box office. People always want to hear stuff about rumors and stuff about the Lakers. If you just come into the video, make sure you thumb up the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Like I said earlier, the big news is the Lakers had to shut down practice because we did had to put THT into health and safety protocols. They've isolated everybody. We know they play tomorrow versus the Mavs. And they just pretty much told everybody to remain in isolation, stay in your rooms, and they don't want any congregation just in case any other positive cases jump off. Because, just because, let's say, if you test positive this morning, this evening, you could test, you could you test negative this morning, this evening you could test positive because of interaction. Let's say today's Wednesday, interaction that you had Monday, something like that. So anyhow, that's just, it is what it is. That's just something we're gonna have to deal with, man. For all this stuff, we probably gonna have to deal with at least another 18 months, I would think. You think, Octavius, you think the Lakers are gonna get Dame or Ben? I don't we'll see, man. We'll see. And but you see, hey, those are big names and it would be interesting, but Ben hasn't played all season. And Dame is having a bad year. And he makes a lot of money, man. So if you would get either one of those players, I would rather take the younger Ben Simmons uh, because I think he still has more potential and upside versus taking Dame because right now the Lakers' problem is defense, and Dame ain't necessarily known for playing defense. And I don't think Anthony Davis really wants a shoot first point guard coming in here. Anthony Davis, you know, he thinks this is his team or whatever, and whatever. That's what they tell him. But believe me, he's a big man. He still wants to get fed. And you saw the frustration with him last season with Dennis Schroeder. I don't think he was really cared for Schroeder's play, but anyway. So I don't think AD really want to play with a shoot first point guard. I think he wants to shoot. He wants to play with a point guard that's going to feed his ass. That's what I think. But we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, like I said, if you guys come into the video, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to come in, the link is in the chat. As it stands right now, Charles, I think the Lakers are going to roll, and they're going to keep Vogel. I think they're going to, because Jeannie did come out and say, we're not prepared to make any moves. We're not even thinking about making any evaluations because the team hasn't been complete yet. So if something like that were to happen, man, I don't think it will happen to like maybe sometime in like January or February. That's just what I think. I don't think they want to make a move for on Bogle. And I know I was talking about that before, but the way this season goes, man, it's ups and downs. Things change. So I'm just like any other uh emotional Laker fan, man, and hey man, things change at the drop of a hat. So we'll see what happens with that, guys. But anyway, I gotta get ready to roll. Thanks everybody for coming into the live stream. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, make sure you thumbs up the video. If you're new, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I really appreciate it. Really helps the channel out. And I will wrap with you guys later. Let me see if I can find that outro. I don't have it on here, so I'm about to dip. I'll wrap with y'all later.